A dog enters a bedroom and freezes. The room is quiet in the wrong way. Its owner is on the bed, same shape, same clothes, same hand hanging near the edge, but the smell has changed. The dog steps closer, sniffs the fingers, nudges the arm, and waits for the familiar movement that always comes next. Nothing happens. So what does the dog understand in that moment? Does it know this is death? Or does it only know that the person who always came back has stopped coming back? That question is harder than it sounds, because animals are not protected from death the way humans often are. They smell it, they step around it. Sometimes they cause it, sometimes they sleep beside it. A predator knows when prey stops struggling. A scavenger knows when a body is safe to approach. A mother knows when her baby is not moving the way it should. But reacting to death is not the same as understanding it. A dog lying beside a body can look like mourning. It can also be confusion, attachment, fear, habit, or all of those things at once. And that is the problem. Animals do things around death that feel painfully familiar to us. A dog may search for an owner who died. A cat may wander through the house after another cat disappears. An elephant may touch the bones of another elephant. A dolphin may push a dead calf toward the surface again and again. We see those behaviors, and we immediately reach for human words: grief, mourning, a funeral. Maybe sometimes those words are close, but if we want to be honest, we have to ask a colder question. What would an animal actually need to understand? For humans, death is not only a body that stops moving. It means the person cannot see, hear, feel, think, choose, or come back later. It also means permanence, not sleeping, not hiding, not gone for a while, gone. Even human children do not understand all of that at once. A child may know that someone is gone before understanding that gone means forever. So with animals, the answer is probably not yes or no. It is probably how much. Dogs are a good place to start, because dogs are experts at noticing when humans break pattern. They know the sound of a car in the driveway. They know footsteps in the hall. They know the smell of their person's clothes, the hour food appears, the hand that reaches down without thinking. A dog does not need a human idea of death to know when a life has stopped behaving normally. The person who answered no longer answers. The person who moved no longer moves. The person who left every morning no longer comes home. That may not be philosophy, but it is not nothing. Some dogs become quiet after a death in the household. Some stop eating normally. Some search rooms. Some wait by doors. Some stay near the bed, the chair, the blanket, the place where the person used to be. We cannot climb inside the dog's mind and ask what it believes. But we can see that something has changed for it. Not just the absence of a person, the collapse of a routine. And for a dog, routine is not a small thing. It is the map of the world. A voice in the morning, a bowl filled at night, a walk after work, a smell on the couch. When that pattern disappears, the dog may not think, "My owner is dead." It may think something more immediate: the world is wrong. Cats are harder to read, partly because humans are bad at reading cats. A cat may not perform grief in a way that looks dramatic to us. It may not cry at the door or lie beside a body. It may simply hide under a bed, or eat less, or vocalize more, or follow its owner from room to room, or stare at places where another animal used to sleep. To us, that can look like indifference, but cats are territorial animals. Their world is made of roots, smells, resting places, shared spaces, and familiar presences. When another animal dies, the house itself changes. A smell fades. A routine disappears. A room becomes too quiet. The cat may not understand death as an idea, but it can understand disruption. It can understand that a familiar presence is missing and not returning to its usual places. And smell matters here more than we usually admit. For animals that live through their noses, death is not invisible. A living body smells one way. A sick body smells another. A dead body changes quickly. The nose may receive information long before anything like a concept appears. That might be why disappearance can sometimes be more confusing than a body. A missing companion leaves the question open. Maybe it is hiding. Maybe it is outside. Maybe it will return. But a body gives the animal something to investigate: stillness, coldness, a smell that is no longer the smell of ordinary sleep. That sounds harsh, but in the animal world, information is survival. A living companion can move. A hidden companion can call back. A sleeping companion can wake. A dead companion does none of those things, and some animals seem to treat that difference as important. Cows may call when separated from calves. Horses may become restless after losing a familiar companion. Some animals appear calmer after they are allowed to smell or inspect the body of an animal that died. That does not prove they understand death completely, but it suggests something important. The body can change uncertainty into recognition. Not human recognition, not a sentence, more like a boundary. This one is not responding anymore. Elephants take that boundary into stranger territory. They have been observed pausing around the bodies and bones of other elephants. They touch remains with their trunks. They smell them. They lift bones. Sometimes they stay near a dead individual longer than they would stay near an ordinary object. That detail matters, because the elephant is not treating the body like a rock. It is investigating it as something that belongs to the social world. Elephants live in families where memory matters. They remember roots, water sources, relatives, and relationships. A dead elephant is not just a large object on the ground. It may be a missing role in a living network: a mother, a calf, a matriarch, a familiar body that used to move with the group. For a solitary animal, death may be the loss of a body. For a social animal, death can be the loss of a position. A piece of the group's shape is gone. That is where the question becomes uncomfortable, because once an animal has relationships, death is no longer just biology. It is social. In the ocean, dolphins and some whales have been seen carrying or supporting dead calves near the surface. A mother may push the calf upward again and again, even when the calf no longer swims. From the outside, it looks like refusal, but refusal may be too human a word. Maybe the mother is doing what she did when the calf was alive. A young calf needs help staying near the surface. It needs guidance. It needs contact. The mother's behavior continues even after the calf can no longer benefit from it. That may be one of the saddest possibilities. The body has died, but the relationship has not stopped. The mother is still responding to the calf as if care could still work. Primates make the question even harder to avoid. Chimpanzees, gorillas, and other primates sometimes stay near dead group members. They may inspect the body, touch it, groom it, sit close. Become unusually quiet. Mothers may carry dead infants for hours, days, or even longer. That image is difficult because it sits so close to human grief. A mother carrying a baby that no longer clings. A baby that does not feed, does not look back, does not warm against her body. At first, she may not understand what has happened, or maybe she understands one part of it and not another. The infant is not acting right. The infant is not responding, but the bond is still there, and this is where the simple question starts to break. Maybe death, for some animals, is not understood in a single moment. Maybe it is learned through waiting. The body should move. It does not. The voice should answer. It does not. The baby should breathe. It does not. The companion should come home. It does not. At some point, the animal stops trying, and that stopping may be the closest thing we can actually observe to understanding. Humans like to imagine death as a fact. A doctor says the words, a phone call comes, a funeral is planned. The meaning arrives with language around it, but animals may meet death differently, not as an announcement, as a series of failed expectations. a hand that does not reach back, a body that does not warm, a smell that changes, a silence that keeps going. That does not mean animals think about death the way humans do. A dog probably does not imagine its own non-existence. A cat probably does not wonder where the dead go. An elephant touching bones is probably not holding a ceremony in the human sense. A whale carrying a calf is probably not thinking in symbols. But maybe symbols are not the only kind of understanding. Many animals may understand the practical pieces of death. This body will not move. This companion is missing. This baby is not responding. This place is different now. This bond has changed. And in a way, that may be the part of death that comes before everything else. Before religion, before philosophy, before words. Someone was here. Now they are not. That is why these animal reactions affect us so deeply. Not because they are exactly like human grief, but because they strip grief down to its oldest shape, waiting for a response that never comes. A dog beside a body may not know the word, forever. But it knows the hand is there and the hand is not reaching back. A cat wandering through a quiet house may not understand mortality, but it knows the familiar presence is gone from the rooms where it should be. An elephant touching bones may not be performing a ritual, but it is paying attention to something that mattered. A whale pushing her calf upward may not know how to let go, but she knows the calf is no longer swimming beside her. So, do animals know what death means? Some probably know more than we once gave them credit for. Not in our language, not with our stories, not with our fear of the future, but through smell, stillness, absence, and broken expectation. Many animals seem to recognize that a living presence has crossed into something else. Maybe that is not a human understanding of death, but it is not ignorance either. For an animal, death may not begin as an idea. It may begin as a silence that refuses to break, not human, but real.